A shocking scene unfolded in a Texas courtroom yesterday when Representative Jasmine Crockett, the outspoken Congresswoman, faced off against Judge Raymond Holt, a veteran jurist known for his stern demeanor, in a confrontation that ended with her fiery words triggering his arrest. Sources say what began as a routine hearing spiraled into a legal firestorm, with Crockett's defiance and the judge's mockery igniting a chain of events that's now the talk of the nation, leaving legal experts stunned, online chatter ablaze. Before we break it down, let me know where you're watching from in the comments, and subscribe for more wild stories like this. Crockett, a former lawyer turned political force, was in court testifying on a fictional community funding case, her presence drawing attention due to her rising profile, her knack for sharp rhetoric. Judge Holt, presiding over the case, reportedly opened with a jab. "Ms. Crockett, are you here to legislate or just to lecture us with your speeches?" The quip, laced with sarcasm, set the tone, and courtroom observers say the tension was palpable from the start. Crockett didn't back down, responding coolly, "I'm here for my people, Judge, something you might understand if you stepped off that bench once in a while." Her retort drew gasps from the gallery, some nodding in approval, others shifting uncomfortably, as Holt's face tightened, his authority challenged in his own domain. He pressed on, questioning her credentials. "I've seen your record, Congresswoman. Lots of noise, not much substance. Care to prove me wrong?" Sources say his tone was mocking, a deliberate prod, and it lit a fuse that wouldn't be snuffed out. The exchange escalated quickly. Crockett stood her ground, detailing her funding plan with precision, but Holt cut in. "Save the campaign. Talk. This isn't Congress, it's my court." His words dripping with disdain, sparking murmurs among the crowd. Insiders report the bailiff tensed, sensing trouble, while Crockett's eyes narrowed, her voice rising. "Your court doesn't scare me, Judge. I've faced worse than your gavel." The standoff split the room. Some saw her as fearless, others as out of line, but all agreed it was just the beginning, with the real fireworks still to come, as Holt's next move pushed her to the edge, setting off a chain reaction nobody could have predicted. The Texas courtroom showdown between Representative Jasmine Crockett and Judge Raymond Holt took a dramatic turn yesterday, as the judge's mocking jabs pushed the Congresswoman to unleash a response that rocked the proceedings, setting the stage for a legal implosion that's still reverberating. Sources say Holt's disdain, after dismissing Crockett's testimony as campaign fluff, lit a fire under her, and what followed was a verbal barrage that turned the hearing into a battleground, with the stakes climbing higher by the minute. Holt, undeterred by Crockett's initial defiance, leaned into his attack. "I've heard enough grandstanding, Ms. Crockett. Your people might buy it, but this court demands facts, not theatrics." His voice sharp, cutting through the room like a blade. Observers say the gallery bristled, some whispering support for Crockett, others nodding at Holt's reprimand, as the judge smirked, adding, "Maybe stick to politics, law's not your stage." The jab, dripping with condescension, landed hard, and insiders report the bailiff shifted closer, sensing the air thickening with trouble. Crockett fired back, her tone steady but rising. "You don't get to belittle me, Judge. I've earned my place here, unlike some who hide behind robes, dodging accountability." The crowd gasped, a few clapping, as Holt's smirk faded, his eyes narrowing. "You're out of line, Congresswoman. I run this room, not you," he snapped, banging his gavel. But Crockett didn't pause. "That gavel doesn't make you king. It's a tool, not a crown, and I'm not here to bow." Her words electrified the space, splitting the audience further, some cheering, others muttering disapproval. The judge, now visibly irked, escalated, pulling a fictional claim from thin air. "Your funding plan's a mess. I've seen the filings. Shady deals, propping it up. Care to explain that?" Sources say he flashed a smirk, expecting her to falter, but Crockett turned it around. "Shady deals? That's your game, Judge. I've heard whispers about your bench, favors for friends. Maybe we should dig there." The accusation, bold and unscripted, stunned the room, with gasps turning to shouts, one voice yelling, "Tell him!" as the bailiff stepped forward, hands hovering, unsure who to restrain. What made this moment explosive wasn't just the back and forth. It was Crockett's refusal to yield. Insiders say she stood taller, her voice booming. "You mock me, Judge, but you're the one hiding. This court's no sanctuary for your ego?" And Holt's face reddened, his control slipping. "Silence, or I'll hold you in contempt," he barked, slamming the gavel again. But Crockett pushed on. "Contempt? I've got contempt for a system that lets you play God, unchecked." The crowd erupted, some standing, others filming, while attorneys at the tables exchanged wide-eyed looks, sensing the hearing was careening off the rails, with Holt's next move about to tip it into chaos. The Texas courtroom became a powder keg yesterday, as Representative Jasmine Crockett and Judge Raymond Holt clashed in a confrontation that hit its boiling point, with the Congresswoman's fiery defiance against the judge's mockery spiraling into a chaos that left the legal system reeling, onlookers stunned, and the path to Holt's arrest taking shape. Sources say Holt's threat of contempt, after Crockett accused him of unchecked power, only fueled her resolve, turning the hearing into a public reckoning that nobody saw coming, with the fallout poised to explode. Holt, his patience fraying, leaned forward, his voice thundering. "You've crossed every line, Ms. Crockett. I'm citing you for contempt. This court won't tolerate your circus." His gavel crashing down, the sound echoing as the gallery buzzed, some shouting in protest, others in support. Crockett didn't flinch, standing firm. "Cite me all you want, Judge. It won't hide your flaws. I'm not the one on trial here. Your conduct is." Her words slicing through the noise, drawing cheers from half the room, gasps from the rest, as the bailiff moved closer, hands twitching, caught between orders, uncertainty. The judge, now red-faced, doubled down. "You think you're untouchable, Congresswoman? I've seen your type, all bluster, no respect. This ends now," his tone venomous, mocking her again. "Maybe your constituents like the show, but here, you're just noise." Sources say his smirk returned, a taunt meant to break her, but Crockett turned it back, her voice rising. "Noise? I'm the voice you can't silence, Judge. You mock me, you mock them, and I'll call it out every time." The crowd erupted, some pounding the benches, others filming, as the room split into a shouting match, order dissolving fast. Crockett pressed her advantage, pointing at Holt. "You sit there, acting above us, but I've heard the stories, rulings, that bend for the connected. You're no saint, you're a player." Her accusation, bold, unproven, landed like a bomb, with gasps turning to roars, one woman yelling, "Expose him!" as attorneys scrambled, whispering furiously. Holt shot up, his chair scraping. "That's slander. You'll pay for that. I'm ordering your removal." His voice shaking, gavel slamming repeatedly. But Crockett stood her ground. "Remove me? I'll walk when I'm done, not when you snap. This isn't your fiefdom." The chaos peaked. Insiders say the bailiff hesitated, looking to Holt, then Crockett, as the judge barked, "Get her out now!" His composure gone, but Crockett stepped forward. "You want me gone? Make it official, Judge. Show them your power's a sham." Her defiance electrifying the room, with phones capturing every word, the live tension spilling beyond the walls. Sources report Holt lost it, lunging toward the bench's edge. "You're a disgrace. I'll have you locked up." His threat wild, unhinged, and that's when it turned. Crockett fired back. "Lock me up? You're the one breaking, not me." Her voice steady, cutting, as the crowd surged, some rushing the rail, others chanting her name. What flipped the script was Holt's next move. Insiders say he grabbed a file, hurling it toward her, missing. But the act stunned the room, silence falling for a beat. Then chaos reignited, with shouts of, "Arrest him!" Rising, the bailiff, finally acting, not on Crockett but Holt, as murmurs of assault rippled through. Online, clips hit X instantly. "Judge loses it," one post read, going viral, while legal analysts gasped, "He crossed a line," setting up a twist nobody expected, with Crockett's stand about to turn the tables completely. The Texas courtroom descended into pandemonium yesterday, as Representative Jasmine Crockett's fiery stand against Judge Raymond Holt reached a breaking point, with the judges unraveling after hurling a file in a fit of rage, flipping the script from mockery to mayhem, setting the stage for his stunning arrest. Sources say Crockett's unyielding defiance, coupled with Holt's loss of control, turned a tense hearing into a legal spectacle, leaving the crowd in uproar, the bailiff in motion, and the nation watching as the fallout began to unfold. The moment Holt's file sailed past Crockett, missing her by inches, the room froze, then exploded with shouts of, "He's done!" and "Get him!" ringing out, some spectators surging forward, others filming, as the bailiff lunged, not toward Crockett, but Holt, grabbing his arm. "Step back, Judge," his voice firm, cutting through the din. Crockett stood tall, unshaken. "You showed them, Judge. That's your justice." Her words calm, piercing, drawing cheers from half the gallery, stunned silence from the rest, as Holt struggled. "Let go, I'm in charge here," his voice cracking, authority slipping away. Insiders say the crowd's reaction was instant, chaotic. Some pounded the benches, chanting, "Lock him up," while others yelled for order. Attorneys at the tables stood, mouths agape, scrambling to process the turn, with one whispering, "He's finished," as phones captured the scene, clips hitting X within seconds. "Judge throws tantrum," one post read, racking up thousands of shares. Holt, red-faced, shouted, "She provoked me! She's the problem!" pointing at Crockett, but the bailiff held firm. "You crossed a line, sir," his grip tightening as the room spun out of control. Crockett seized the moment, turning to the gallery. "This is what power looks like when it's cornered. He mocked me, he mocked you. Now he's exposed." Her voice steady, commanding, sparking a roar of approval. Some clapping, others filming her every move. As the narrative shifted, Holt's outburst becoming the story, not her defiance. Sources report the judge flailed. "I'll have your badge. I'll sue her." His threats wild, desperate. But the crowd drowned him out, one man yelling, "You're the one in cuffs soon," as the bailiff signaled for backup. Deputies rushing in, their boots echoing, adding to the frenzy. What turned the tide was the legal weight. Insiders say Holt's act, throwing the file, was assault in the eyes of the law, a felony if pursued. And Crockett's calm response, "You don't scare me, Judge. You just sank yourself," sealed his fate, with onlookers noting her poise. "She played it perfect," one attorney muttered, while Holt's unraveling painted him as the villain. Online, the shift was swift. Crockett stands, Judge falls. A viral thread read, with clips of the file toss looping, legal experts chiming in, "He's done. That's a crime." As the crowd's chants grew, "Arrest him! Arrest him!" the pressure mounting. The deputies, now flanking Holt, hesitated, looking to the bailiff, who nodded. "Take him," his voice low, decisive, as the judge thrashed, "This is outrageous. She's the criminal." But the room wasn't his anymore. Crockett's presence loomed, her words lingering. "You mocked the wrong one." And the gallery erupted again, some rushing the rail, others live streaming, with X posts exploding. "Judge Holt's toast," one read, hitting thousands of likes. The arrest was imminent, the chaos undeniable, and the story was far from over, with Crockett's victory poised to reshape everything. The Texas courtroom saga between Representative Jasmine Crockett and Judge Raymond Holt reached its jaw-dropping climax yesterday, with the judge's arrest capping a day of chaos sparked by his mockery, Crockett's fiery defiance, and a file-throwing meltdown that flipped the legal world upside down, leaving a legacy that's still unfolding, online buzz roaring, and political ripples spreading fast. Sources say what started as a funding hearing ended with Holt in cuffs, Crockett triumphant, and a story that's rewriting the rules. As deputies closed in, Holt's resistance crumbled. His shouts of, "This is a travesty, she's the instigator," drowned out by the crowd's chants, "Take him down," while the bailiff held firm. "You assaulted her, Judge. It's over." His voice steady, cutting through the uproar, with Crockett standing resolute. "You mocked me, Judge. Now you face the music." Her words calm, final, sparking a wave of cheers, some spectators leaping up, others filming, as the cuffs clicked on Holt's wrists, his head dropping, the fight gone. Insiders say the room shook. The arrest a surreal turn, with attorneys frozen, one muttering, "Never seen this," as the gallery erupted, some chanting her name, others stunned silent. The fallout hit like a tsunami. Deputies led Holt out, his robe askew, his threats fading. "I'll sue, I'll be back." But the crowd wasn't listening, their phones capturing every step, clips flooding X within minutes. "Judge arrested." After Crockett clash, one post read, hitting 100,000 views fast, with Crockett wins trending. Memes of Holt's file toss captioned, "When you lose it all," going viral. Crockett turned to the gallery. "This is what happens when power forgets the people." Her voice ringing, drawing roars of approval, some clapping, others live streaming as she walked out, head high, leaving chaos in her wake. Online, the reaction split the internet. Supporters hailed her. "She took down a tyrant," one X thread read, racking up likes, while critics fumed, "She baited him, this is a stunt," fueling debates that raged into the night. Legal experts weighed in. "Holt's done, assault's a felony," one said, predicting his bench days are over. Others praised Crockett. "She turned mockery into justice," a viral video declared, pulling millions of views. Sources say her team's buzzing, fielding calls from allies, with talk of leveraging this for bigger fights, maybe a Senate run. Her district energized, flooding her office with support. "Keep going," one caller urged. The legal world's reeling. Insiders report Holt's arrest, a rare event, has judges whispering, some decrying Crockett's role. "She pushed too far," one claimed, others nodding at Holt's collapse. "He sank himself," a clerk said, with courts now eyeing tighter conduct rules. The case a warning. Online, the story's a juggernaut. Crockett versus Holt, searches spiking, clips looping, analysts calling it a shift. "Power's not untouchable," one said, predicting more clashes as figures like her rise. For Crockett, it's a win, her star soaring. For Holt, a fall, his career likely toast, the echoes set to linger. This isn't the end, it's a beginning. Stay tuned for more. If you're hooked on stories like this, hit subscribe now, join the ride.